So what they send my warrant for?
So your warrant is for a failure to appear. Dispatch is gonna call in and make sure it's still valid.
Failure to appeal where? I don't have no court date.
It's for DUI out of Pickens County.
Pickens County?
32, but you know anything from my warrant.
The only DUI, I had a suspicion of a DUI a long time ago, and it was dismissed, so I don't know what they can be talking about.
The emergency lights were flashing like a storm trapped inside a concrete building. Screams echoed down the hallways, blending with the sharp clanging of metal doors and the frantic shouts of guards who didn't know which way to turn first. King Harris lay on the cold tile floor, barely moving, his chest rising in shallow, uneven breaths. Around him, chaos ruled every corner of the jail, but in one spot, one cell block, the world seemed to stop. Everything slowed down. And somewhere, in the middle of the madness, a phone rang. T.I. answered it with a casual tone, thinking it was another routine update, but the voice on the other line shattered that calm instantly. He's been attacked. He's not breathing right. That one sentence sent T.I.'s world spinning like a hurricane, dragging Tiny and the rest of the family into a nightmare they couldn't escape. Minutes felt like hours as T.I. jumped into his car, honking past traffic like the city itself should have cleared a path for him. His hands shook on the wheel, his chest tight, every breath a struggle. Tiny sat beside him, gripping the dashboard, whispering prayers that barely escaped her lips. Lord, don't let this be it. Not my baby, not now. Flashbacks hit him suddenly, the moments King had laughed as a child, the first time he rode a bike without training wheels, the time he nervously asked T.I. for advice on school. All of it flashed by in a cruel montage as T.I. drove at a speed that made his heart pound, knowing that every second could mean life or death. When they arrived at the hospital, the scene was chaotic. Nurses and doctors were rushing in and out, monitors beeping frantically, a bed surrounded by machines that looked like instruments of war rather than healing. T.I. barely noticed the cameras flashing outside. He barely noticed the reporters asking for statements. Nothing existed except the tiny, fragile body of his son lying pale and lifeless in front of him. Tiny knelt beside him, holding King's limp hand as if sheer willpower could pull him back from the edge. T.I. sank into a chair, the weight of the world pressing down on his shoulders as he whispered, "Come on, son. Come back to me." The media was already exploding. Twitter erupted with speculation, blogs spun out threads about the incident, and YouTube channels uploaded clips of the hospital entrance within minutes. Fans debated whether King's past behavior had led to this moment or whether he was just an innocent caught in a dangerous system. Old footage resurfaced of T.I. lecturing King on the streets, on stage, in interviews, every word suddenly recontextualized. Public opinion split in milliseconds. Some blamed the system, some blamed King, some blamed no one, just shocked at the gravity of the event. Inside the hospital room, the doctors gave their early update, and it was not good. His vitals are weak. He's in critical condition. We don't know if he'll wake up, they said. Tiny's face fell into her hands, her shoulders shaking. T.I. refused to leave, pacing the room like a caged animal. "I'm not leaving my boy," he whispered. "Not like this. He's mine, and he's coming back." Every time the doctor checked the monitors, T.I.'s heart jumped. He held King's hand tighter each time, willing the boy's body to respond. Family chaos erupted outside the room. Zanique arrived, panicked, barely able to process what had happened. T.I.'s older sons argued with security about getting inside, voices raised in fear and frustration. Tiny's mother fainted when she was told what happened. Emotions collided in the waiting room. The fear, anger, and helplessness were so thick it could be cut with a knife. Everyone wanted answers, someone to blame, and someone to fix this instantaneously. T.I. finally snapped. He screamed at the security team, accusing them of negligence, of failing to protect his son. He punched a wall in the hallway, his knuckles bruised instantly. Tiny whispered for him to calm down, but even she could barely hold back tears. The fight wasn't with anyone in the room, but with life itself, with the system, with fate for allowing his child to be hurt. How did this happen? He demanded, voice breaking. How did he end up here? No one could answer, and every passing second felt like a betrayal. Then, after what felt like an eternity, the nurses started shouting. Machines beeped frantically. A nurse yelled for the doctor to come, and for a moment, the world stopped. King's fingers twitched. Slowly. A flicker of life returned to him, a movement barely noticeable at first. The heart monitor spiked, steadying just enough to make the room hold its breath. T.I. collapsed into the nearest chair, tears streaming down his face uncontrollably. Tiny grabbed King's hand, whispering his name over and over, feeling the warmth of life return slowly. The miracle was happening. King's eyes opened, barely focusing. He looked around, confused, as if he didn't understand where he was. He whispered weakly, "Pop?" And that was all T.I. needed. He rushed forward, hugging King gently, trying not to crush him but needing every ounce of physical contact to make the fear disappear. King apologized, barely audible, "I should have listened." T.I., still crying, kissed his son's forehead. "You get a second chance, son. A second chance. Don't waste it." The weight of the near tragedy made the embrace feel eternal. Then the details of the attack emerged. King, still weak, explained how he had been targeted by a group inside the jail. It wasn't random. He argued with someone high up, someone connected to powerful figures inside. The attack had been premeditated. The revelation made T.I. clench his fists. Rage mixed with relief. His son was alive, yes, but someone had dared to hurt him, to push him to the brink. T.I. vowed silently that justice would be served. Meanwhile, the jail officials launched an internal investigation. Lawyers were called in. Questions about guard negligence and possible collusion spread like wildfire. Fans debated online, some arguing the system failed, others questioning whether King had been careful enough. T.I., however, refused to let the public narrative matter. His focus was on his son. Protection. Ensuring King's safety from every angle. King's emotional breakdown came quietly, in the hospital room when he was alone with Tiny. He began to cry softly, words broken, telling her he wanted to change, that he wanted to get out of trouble. Tiny hugged him, promising to protect him no matter what, promising to never let harm reach him again. It was a rare moment of vulnerability for a young man who had often masked his pain with bravado. T.I.'s public statement followed shortly after. He stood outside the hospital, face strained, voice cracking as he thanked fans for their prayers. He admitted the family was not perfect but that they would fight tooth and nail to protect King. "God gave us our child back today," he said. The words hung heavy, every syllable a mixture of relief, fear, and lingering anger. Cameras clicked, reporters scribbled notes, and social media went into overdrive. But even as the family celebrated the miracle, a new twist emerged. Hospital security noticed a suspicious man lingering near King's room. T.I. was informed immediately. He went into full protective mode, demanding full surveillance and security details. The idea that someone might try to get close to King again sent chills down his spine. He refused to leave the hospital, pacing and watching every visitor, every shadow, ensuring no harm could come again. The world watched as the family's ordeal unfolded in real time. Fans posted clips, screenshots, and timelines, speculating about the attack, the miracle, and the possible threats. Every online post carried the weight of uncertainty. Would King be safe now? Or was danger still lurking around the corner? Every eye was on T.I., watching him navigate fatherhood under pressure like never before. By the end of the day, King was stable. He could speak in short sentences, laugh weakly, and even joke about the hospital food. Tiny and T.I. stayed close, refusing to leave his side. Every time he drifted in sleep, they held his hands, whispering reassurances. And though the world would continue to speculate, post, and debate, one truth remained undeniable. King Harris had beaten the odds. Against the odds. And in that moment, T.I. collapsed again in tears, not out of despair, but out of pure gratitude. And just when everyone thought the storm had finally passed, the security cameras captured something chilling, a blurry figure lingering near the hospital entrance, someone who absolutely shouldn't have been there. T.I. noticed instantly, his eyes narrowing, pulse racing, every instinct screaming danger. The miraculous survival of King had already stunned the world, but now it was clear the story wasn't over. Shadows of threat loomed larger than ever, hinting at a new wave of tension, protection, and reckoning that would soon engulf the Harris family. Fame, family, and danger collided in a way that left no one safe. The world was watching, and the Harris family had unwittingly stepped straight into the next storm, one that would test their courage, loyalty, and resolve like never before.